Away we go in the Wyfold Challenge Cup, Nottingham Rowing Club on the Berkshire station, and keeping a close eye on what's going on with the Germans. Again, they came off Temple Island, they went a bit central. The umpire at the moment not intervening, and I think they've corrected things, the Germans there, but Sarah, not the ideal racing line.
Yeah, and again, we've seen a few crews on that Buckinghamshire side struggle a tiny bit on that first piece, so there's clearly something with the tailwind that we've got. It's holding the boat straight, and then as you get going, it's not quite as straight as you feel. And the cost of that isn't that they're now coming right up on the booms here. This is what we talk about, Tim. This is when you want an athlete not to happen. You have to push yourself off. Now, Germans, talk to each other, work together, get yourselves off the booms.
Those oars clattering the booms, and an early problem for the boat from Hamburg. That was not what we wanted. We had seen it gone too central. They overcorrected as they came off Temple Island. Such a complex part of every race, and they clattered those booms. We saw that, and now they've got to try and recompose themselves. But let's have a look at that again. You could see the nervous look in the bow seat. He knew what was coming. Bang!
It's really hard as an umpire as well, because you can't steer them at that stage. You can only stop them. You stop them hitting the booms in that way, but you cannot steer them off the booms because you change the course of the race. So you have to let them get right onto those booms. And as you see there, they've got themselves back together. But my God, the adrenaline will have spiked.
Club men's fours, tough race, and coming unstuck early, the Germans. They've, to their credit, kept things alive. You might think it would be race over, but actually, looking at this, Nottingham Rowing Club, they've not surged ahead, have they? No,
Nottingham Rowing Club, a reasonably new rowing club by British standards, about 10 years old, and it's great to see them here at the regatta. I don't think they'll have been potentially expecting themselves to be in this position in the race. They will have been talking about, how they can stay to the end of the island, and of course now they are in the leading position, and let's see what they can do for the rest of the race. And remember the Germans, you can see the bowman looking round there, Tim. He is wondering where Nottingham Rowing Club are here, and that adrenaline, you know how much it costs you. That something goes wrong, the spike comes up, and we've talked about the 2,112 metres down this course. Are they going to have the energy to go the whole way? Well,
they're going to need the whole length of this race to do that. And I suppose, Sarah, the temptation is to try and win it and get yourself back on track within the next few strokes, and patience must be the key. When you've basically given Nottingham Rowing Club there a really healthy head start, and you need to pick off that head start patiently rather than try and do it all in a few strokes.
You're spot on, and I kind of went, Germans, talk to each other, because that's what we drilled. If something went wrong, you just have to have someone in the crew who's going to tell you what to do, and then the rest of you just do it. Just do it as you're told.
And do you practice that?
We would have done, yeah, absolutely, because every now and again something does go wrong, and you can just practice it. You can say, this is what we're going to do, and then hopefully never have to use it. Hopefully never have to use it, but of course every now and again you do.
An interesting mix of experiences. I'm just looking at Paul Berger in the 3-seat for the Germans. He had a year at oratory school, which is only just down the road from here, so he should know this stretch of water, studying medicine in Hamburg, and a Swiss champion in his time as well, Paul Berger, so there's some experience, and he's not alone either.
This is really interesting, isn't it? Because Nottingham, they're still ahead there. The Germans, you can see that their rate is there, but they're looking scratchy, and they're actually coming towards the booms again on that side. You can see the steering has gone on. So at the bow wave, at the end of the stern of the boat, you can see that the steersman is steering, but they're back again going towards the boom. They are struggling. They are struggling to get the boat straight and get into their rhythm and get their length. They're scratching at it to try and get back. They still have a fair bit of this course to do. They just need to relax, but you can see it is the Nottingham Rowing Club boat that is a length and 2 lengths up at the moment.
Yeah, you can see there in the marker board, 2 lengths clear, and this could be some moment for Nottingham Rowing Club. You said early in the race they wouldn't have been anticipating the race to unfold like that, but they've kept their concentration, they've kept their race together, and they've kept their lead.
And they look fantastic, don't they? They're really rowing well here. You can see the length there that they're getting in. Their blades are going down. White blades, harder to see in this light, but you can see they just disappear into the river, and they're just pressing their boat away. The rate is staying high, it's staying lively, but they are in their rhythm, and they'll just keep pushing, keep moving it, one stroke at a time.
A lot of the race still to unfold, so anything could happen. We've seen that back at Temple Island. So you're just looking at the flags, and that breeze makes it challenging.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the big flag from our turns, you can see there, and it looks like it's become a bit of a crosswind. We've been talking about a tailwind, but now actually when you look at all the flags at the side, they are now crosswind, which maybe explains why we've been seeing the Germans having, the Hamburg club having problems there. But look there now, they look like they're tired men. They have pressed their way back. They've been working out how to stay in this race, and they still are struggling with this steering. They're now in the centre of the course.
Tev Nupel, you saw there in the stroke seat for the Germans, didn't look like he was enjoying it a huge amount. Might be able to enjoy the rest of the week in a few minutes' time in a different sort of way.
It's interesting, isn't it, because these boats are steered by one of the athletes. They've got their rudder on their foot on the rudder, and they point their toe to ensure that it goes in the right way. But you've got to have two videos in your head. You've got the video of how you're rowing and what's going on, but also the video on what's going on behind you and where you are on the river, and that takes experience. And of course, this Hamburg crew won't have spent the hours that others have on this course. I wonder how much Nottingham have, but they'll be Nottingham Rowing Club right by home pier point there, 6-lane course. They'll be very, very used to using buoys to steer off. Boom's a little bit different.
This is one of the really historic events in the programme. 1847, the Wyfold introduced, and Nottingham Rowing Club will be mighty pleased with how that's worked out. Yes, they were given some help by the Germans' early calamity smashing into the boom at Temple Island, but they still had to do what they had to do, and that's a good performance from them. They've stretched away, and for the Germans, well, I suppose it's learning, but that'll be frustrating for them that they couldn't avoid that early crash. Over the line come Nottingham Rowing Club, the Wyfold Challenge Cup.
And you realise how tough it is. Realise how tough it is to steer these crews. Nottingham Rowing Club, easy at the end for them. Press on all the way through. Back tomorrow.